What's good, YouTube? We back today with another video. This one, I already watched part of it, but I was very interested in the things they said, and I want to give my own personal opinions on it. So, let's get straight into it, man. It's Fresh and Fit, Destiny, SNEAKO, MjGetRight. In this part, they're talking about basically the government, what they think about. We'll just get into it.
Yeah, man. So I would say it's a bunch of different things. It's very difficult. I agree with Destiny. It's very difficult to point to one thing, but everything works in tandem, right? So like people are soft in general. So since people are soft, they elect this, officials that go ahead and push the soft agenda. Oh, Biden's going to allow us to not take accountability for our student loan debt. Let's vote for him. So it all works together. Is my thing.
This is also really important.
It's a multivariate issue.
Yeah, people need to understand this, and the right and left. Nobody gets this, okay? You have to think that the other person is genuinely doing what they think is best for the world. Because as soon as you start getting this mindset that somebody's trying to corrupt or poison society, you've lost the plot, and you have lost your ability to understand.
You're saying stay in the matrix.
I'm saying no. What I'm saying is that people on the right will look at people on the left and go, "You're trying to weaken men. You're trying to fucking
I'm not even a right person.
I'm not saying you're right. I don't know why you would identify.
SNEAKO gets very offended very quickly. I think he's such an interesting personality because I think he's someone who's very similar to me, looks for understanding, but he also views himself as someone who has very high understanding, like myself. So I think he can take a lot of things more offensive or more personal than they really are, and it almost limits his understanding that he's actually searching for.
I'm just saying people on the right say this shit. They'll say this shit, but the reality is people on the left probably are thinking you know what? I think that if people were more sensitive, more emotional, we'd have a better society. It's coming from a place of compassion. Whether you believe it or not, it is. And that's important to recognize real quick. People on the left will do the same with people on the right. They'll say, oh, you want women to stay home, you can hate women, you want to be slaves. Not really. They just think they're happier there. They think they're better there. Generally, I think most people on the planet are 97% aligned with most morals, but the way that we come at it is so different. We misinterpret the other side. We think they're coming from a place of hate.
You said there?
See, that's actually somewhere where I disagree. I do agree with the fact that he says that most people think their ideas are actually right for the world. They don't have a malicious intent toward the whole world. But that doesn't mean, just because you have good intent in your ideas, doesn't mean your idea itself isn't a bad and malicious idea. If someone hates a certain person, or someone thinks, well, you know what, this person did this to me, so I'm going to give back even more than them, just to settle out there, in their own intentions, well, this is good for me, and it'll stop. They think it'll stop the situation right there, so they think it's a net positive. But on the real, it starts a never-ending cycle of negatives. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I would disagree with him. But I do think, again, when you look at people as an enemy, it does stop the conversation. There's no more conversation anymore when automatically, if I feel someone, instead of walking alongside, we try to figure out what we're going to do best, and we turn it to we're against each other and we are opposing each other. Now, instead of trying to figure out the best way for us to move forward, I'm trying to figure out how to get my ideas solely to move forward. So now I'm not listening to his points because I'm going to feel internally, if I still let him know he's right a little bit, he's going to think he's right all the way. So I think that's something that we got to learn to do, to really mix in both ideas, because no one really has it all figured out.
What? That's the most accurate thing you said all night. Because you know why? People at the top think they're doing the best thing for us because they're in control. That's right, bro. It's right.
I completely disagree with what Fresh said. Completely disagree.
I think they have malicious intent.
They're
having rituals on islands, touching kids.
But understand, right? They're better than you in their head. So you know what? I'm gonna make choices for you because you're beneath me.
I don't think it's. I think Fresh. No offense to him, but this is just a really dumb take. I think that is such a dumb take. It's not. I know what's best for you at the top. It's basically just the rich keep getting richer, and you want more influence. You want more power. There's no. I think this is best for society. That's like being oh, I think me keeping my billions and not helping the world is best for society. Obviously, everyone knows that it's not. But if you lost all your billions, you lose your influence. But it's not. They think they're better than. You probably do think they're better than us, but it's not. They're better than us, so we're gonna help. They don't think of us as like sheep.
He's right.
But that's not having our best interest in mind. They think, how can we manipulate these bonds to make more money?
Because that means I am over you, so whatever I decide for you is better for you.
Yeah, but what if they're just trying to keep money in house and just
these guys
propagate that for generations like they always do?
They're so rich. I wish you're a billionaire. I think these guys have enough money that I don't think they're.
Greed is a disease.
You don't think they're trying to?
They want as much. They want all the money.
Elon Musk trying to go to Mars. Ain't he?
I don't think it has anything to do with the thing of control. I think it's more like when you have money and you have the ability to push your boundaries and just do things that you've never done before, why would you not? Like what, especially if you're a red pill dude and you really believe in what the red pill say, why would a man be content with just doing what he already done when there's so much more you pursue?
Here's what I think.
How much money do you need, bro? Like for real, bro. How much money do you need, bro?
I need to get a spaceship.
Like, nigga, come on, relax, bro.
I think people like influence. Something interesting I noticed with Andrew Tate is the guy's probably pretty wealthy. I think he over-exaggerates how much money he has, but he's definitely wealthy. I know that.
He was a millionaire before the social media fame.
But I think that once you have a taste of having influence, of having the ear of thousands of people, I think even somebody like Andrew Tate is like, that feels really good. It can feel better to have 150,000 people listening to what you're saying than to make 150,000 in a day.
We get messages from people all the time that are like multimillionaires, but no one knows who the f they are.
Exactly,
and they want to come on the pod and get clout.
And you'll see like B-list celebrities or even A-list celebrities sometimes they'll hop on a stream and do some shit, and they'll get like 5,000, 10,000 people watching, but not even as much as some of like the online people like what we do. And I think people want to buy into that.
Yeah, people like influence.
So I met a couple of billionaires here in Miami, right? And some millionaires too. And you know what's common theme? They have money, but they're bored as fuck.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? How do I get clout and status to be like you?
Yeah.
I'm like, you want to be like me, but you got all this money.
Yeah, because I mean, imagine having all the money in the world, but you can't get into certain places, you know? Or you're not well respected in those places until you bring up your money, you know? Like, I think there's something to do with, like someone asked me before, they said, would you rather have, I think it was money, respect, or love? And I chose respect because if you're rich but nobody respects you or nobody loves you, there's no, it almost feels pointless. You're still gonna feel beneath yourself because even with all the money in the world, if you can't buy respect, you can't buy love. But I chose respect personally because if I walk into a room and every single man and woman knows and values the character I have, I'll always have value, even outside of money. That means say I go broke or I'm rich as hell, the respect won't ever leave. And that's something that you really can't get through money or even through love.
You know what? They're bored, bro. They're really bored. So I would just say this: money is not enough. They need to have some type of like actual
legacy
fun
or
and legacy. So for them, it ain't about the money, bro. It's about, okay, how can I conquer, have control, have more influence?
Yeah. Sorry, you have something, MJ?
But
Please.
Destiny, let me ask you this, bro. Because did you just say like 97% of the population is like morally in check?
I think so.
You honestly think that's not true at all? I don't believe that. Not 97%, bro.
I'll look at like Islamic people and Christians fighting, and it's like, bro, you guys agree on like almost everything. But like the way that you worship or like the exact,
very
like
similar.
Christians will look at like Muslims and be like, man, you guys are wearing in your jobs and shit. That's fucked up. You're so oppressive. And then they'll look over like a woman in a short skirt and be like, you fucking slut, you need to get stoned. Like, damn, what the fuck are you talking about? You guys are like radical. They'll be like, so I really do. Here's what I think. I think it's important to have this foundation. I feel really strongly about this. Everybody wants to do good by everybody else. They just have different ideas of how to do it. I think that once you get into the mindset that somebody's genuinely like an evil person, there are evil people. They're very, very, very rare.
See, again, and that's where I disagree. I don't think everyone wants to do good by everybody else. They want to do good by the people who they care about, which leads to the most confrontation. So maybe unless he's talking about it, yeah, I think even in America, there's so many different personal societies, cultures, groups that look out for each other. So we don't really see ourselves as a complete whole. So I can't give it 97% because if I'm only looking out for my people, that's not me having the good of everybody else. That's me having the good of my people. You know, I'd rather have 10 of my homeboys be rich than 100 other people be rich. Even if that's better for the world, I'd still rather have it be my people. So I'd have to disagree.
I see what Destiny's saying. Destiny's saying, so Destiny's saying basically that most people have good intent and what they think. Like, for example, Bill Gates, right? Depopulation. In his head, he thinks that's really the way to go.
Better world.
And he thinks it's going to lead to a better world. He might be wrong in it, but he thinks in his head that that's really going to help. So I get where Destiny's coming from, where like people do have good intent. They just might be completely oblivious of reality about what people really need versus what's going on, right? Like what people really need versus like what they think.
Yeah.
Well said.
That's like when I come from.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because I have a really big Catholic background, so I understand like the religious perspective on like men and women. When people on the left want to attack conservatives, like, oh, you hate women, that's why you want them in the house. You hate women, that's why you blah blah blah. It's like that. The thoughts on women from Christian people, those don't come from a place of hatred, right? They come from a place of like compassion and love and understanding that they have a different view of what a household should look like and what a man's role in life should be and what a woman's role in life should be.
Right,
but it's not because they all fucking hate women. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? And then they would argue, they look.
See, I think we don't use the term hate correctly. I think a lot of people, when they say hate women, they really mean you don't respect women and view them as equals. So that's where I think a lot of like he Destiny said a while ago, the way people use words is very different now. Like we don't use them for their exact meanings. They're different in different groups and settings. So I think a lack of respect for women makes people think it's a hate, but there's just a complete different thing.
Look at the other end. It's like you want women to go into the workplace, put off having kids to 30, be miserable. They would say,
I agree with you though that
yeah.
like there are definitely like people that are evil. I mean, maybe it's a little bit less than maybe. There's more evil people than we think. Maybe it's like 90-10.
That's what I mean. Like, at the very least, it's not 3%.
Yeah,
there's bad people out there. But I'll just end with this.
Yeah.
So, I want to how to put this. So let's say, for example, right, God and the actual Satan himself. Why did Satan go against God? Because he thought he knew better than God. He could do it better. But in his way of thinking, you know what? It's right way to go. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, those people at the top, they know better than us.
Yeah, but they
see, and then that's why I really think it's different. It's like people at the top know that when they put food that's killing people, they know it's killing you. They don't think it's better for you. They know it's killing you. They're not thinking like, oh, well, if I put this chemical in there, they die, it'll actually be better because I'm going to depopulate. No, it's my influence, my reach will go. It's like this. When people make chips, they make chips in a certain way where the flavor leaves your mouth very fast, which causes a high dopamine rush, which makes you want to eat more chips. They're not doing that because they think you should eat more chips for your health. They're doing that so you buy the product. They're not trying to help you. They're trying to push their product. So this idea that the elites are really up there thinking they're better and helping humanity is really dumb because that's not what it is. The elites they basically are trying to numb your senses so you do what they want and buy the products they want you to buy.
They might be like Bill Gates is so unaware. Like someone talked about this. Like someone threw like an egg or something at him when he was in public one time, and his reaction when he got hit was like, "Oh my god!" Like it's like very obvious that he hasn't dealt with confrontation from people in a very very long time, probably decades at this point. So he was like shocked, and that goes to show you like his reaction to being heckled and or harassed to a degree. As a, pretty much an A-list celebrity, worldwide famous, like his reaction tells you everything you need to know. Yeah. The guy doesn't operate in reality, which is why he probably thinks depopulation is the way to go.
I think you're giving these guys too much credit and thinking that they think they're doing the right thing. I think they actively...
No, they're still stupid. Right. Don't get me wrong.
They're still stupid. They're some of the smartest people, but they actively try to conjure evil to get the most amount of power. They try...
Yeah, even with what Myron just said, they're not stupid. I think, again, it's not... I think a lot of people have this idea of... People are thinking, I think you got to understand, a lot of people don't think about everybody else so deeply as you want it to be. People think about their inner circles. They think about my family, my next generation, and maybe my family friends. Those are the people we're thinking about. So if I go outside and I hurt somebody, but it makes my sister feel better, I'll most likely do that because I care way more about my sister than I care about that next person. Does that make me evil, or does that make me just somebody who really deeply cares about my sister? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where we gotta understand the difference. Just because someone's doing something that hurts you, they might be doing it out of a love for somebody else or a desire for somebody else. That doesn't make it inherently evil.
To separate human empathy so that they can control us and not feel any feelings. That's what they're doing on the island. That's why they do sacrifices on children. That's why they summon Satan so that they can get rid of any love, any compassion.
Yeah, bro, I have no idea what this nigga talking about. No. This nigga SNEAKO deep in the conspiracy theory. He probably the type to like bring home a girl, be like, oh yeah, babe, like before we get into it, let me put something on. It's motherfucking a conspiracy theory documentary on YouTube.
They think, but SNEAKO, you gotta remember, they think
that's
it's
what
good.
They do.
But SNEAKO,
that's not a conspiracy.
SNEAKO, you gotta remember, you gotta remember that they think it's good. I'm not saying what they're doing is good. I'm saying they think it's good, even though we know.
Right? You saying all right, SNEAKO too? You don't think they do that?
I believe in conspiracy all the way. Trust me, brother. I'm on your side.
So what are you saying?
This nigga fresh. All this nigga fresh know how to do is de-escalate. So no, I'm not trying to get into this.
All right,
he's just trying. But you gotta admit though, bro. Some things though are just kind of like
sound crazy,
far-fetched. I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm just saying like,
how do you explain Jeffrey Epstein?
What do you mean?
Why were the most rich people all flying to this island, touching kids and doing like satanic rituals?
Because they're bored, bro.
They're bored, but why?
They're bored, so they fuck children.
Why are they going out?
And they're Catholic. It's power control and
Guys,
sacrifice kids and like, bro.
Guys, like I said before, I'm not saying what they did was right. It was 100% wrong, but in their twisted head, they think it's right. That's all I'm saying.
If you
They're
do- if you
still
do, like,
wrong,
if you do-
but they think they're right. They rationalize it.
I don't
Like,
think so.
People
Yeah,
that
but
commit
do they-
crimes, let me tell you, from being an investigator, people that commit crimes, a lot of the times, rationalize it
They
in their
justify
head,
it, yeah.
in the back of their mind, so they think what they're doing is right. As a matter of fact, I'll give you guys some game right now. When I was an agent, one of the things I would always do when I would sit down with the bad guy was I would rationalize his crimes. So he'd be smuggling, 20 kilos of coke or some bullshit like that, or 1,000 pounds of weed. I'd be like, hey man, it's just weed, bro. It ain't that big a deal. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, you got to make some money. Dude's gonna pay you what, $5,000 to smuggle this shit over. You're not the top guy here. Help us out. Let's fucking figure out the guy that did it, whatever. So I would go ahead and minimize what the fuck they did, and I'd rationalize it to
So
a
how do you
degree.
rationalize Hillary Clinton keeping all the earthquake funds for themselves in the Clinton Foundation? They kept all the money, none of it went to Haiti.
SNEAKO, you're missing a point. I'm not
How do
saying,
you rationalize that though?
I'm not saying that
I'm
what
asking
they
you
did
as a
is right.
threat.
All right, we're gonna end it right there because this boy SNEAKO finna go on his little conspiracy theory rants, and I don't know enough information for that. But y'all tell me what y'all think. Do y'all think the government is someone who, or not the government, the powers above are people who are trying to do evil things, people who are just trying to do things for themselves, people who are trying to do good but just aren't doing good anymore because they're so detached from society? Let me know, and let's just talk about it in the chat, man. Until next time.